166 straight days of Clippers talk. Welcome in, everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't know it was going to loop like that, but I liked it. There was Kawhi, not from last night, where he dropped 33 on 19 shots against Cleveland.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do I have the loop setting on? How does this work? Adobe Audition. I'm supposed to know these things. Appreciate you guys being here. I'm at a Moslin. Maybe I should put out a tweet for this. That I just went live. I was forgetting something. I always am. Maybe I'm too much on a Cloud9 still. Cloud9 hangover from what the Clippers were able to do last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers in getting their best victory of the season by far, and doing it in a fashion where it's not like the Cleveland Cavaliers didn't play well or had an off shooting night. Just didn't look the same. First game of this road trip for them on the West Coast. No. They put up 70 points in the first half. And the Clippers hung tough until their shooting came around. Just beautiful to see. Beautiful basketball by the Clippers until their defense came around, I should say. Their shooting kept them in it with those 12 three-pointers in the first half. If you guys are just getting in, let me know. You can hear me okay. I get a little bit self-conscious and thinking I did something wrong when I don't see anyone say anything in the chat for a while. But we're going to play the sounds, listen to the post-game audio from last night. Okay, Alfredo is in here. We're good. Starting with Big Zoo, Ivica Zubac, who absolutely bodied Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Those two players, let's see here, combined for 25 and 11. Is this right? Evan Mobley and Jared Allen combined for 25 and 11. Ivica Zubac had 28 and 20 by himself. There's levels to this. All right, it's no disrespect. I like both those players a ton, and Evan Mobley might be the defensive player of the year. Only because people are finally waking up to how good Big Zoo has been. Here he was post-game with help from his friend Bogey, speaking with Christina Pink.
Everybody tonight, and a monster performance. 28 on your 28th birthday, Big Zoo.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that part. He gets 28 points on his 28th birthday.
28-19. Tell me what's that?
20 rebounds.
Oh, Zoo.
Hey, Zoo doesn't play when it comes to those stats. He did it to Carlo recently, too. Carlo, I think, said 13 boards. He said, no, 14. These guys know their numbers.
Tell me what got... Getting a lot of love from your teammates. Tell me, what got into you tonight?
It's my birthday. I had to bring it. And we wanted this one bad. Wanted it for the standings. Wanted it for my birthday. You know, I don't have a lot of opportunities to play on my birthday, and I didn't win much when I played on my birthday. So we definitely wanted this one, and glad we did.
Now, I said game balls for everybody. It's our favorite Euro combo because Bogey, you were so big tonight. Perfect from the field. You can't miss. And Zoo said it.
He's doing this his whole career. That was my workouts this last month. No, last 2 days.
So now Bogey's there too.
Tell me about
the work. It's all the work.
Trust the work. How did the work turn into the results tonight?
It was amazing. It's amazing that we won at the end. This is a tough opponent, one of the championship contenders. So I'm just glad the way we compete, even though they were scoring and hitting some big shots in the first half.
I don't don't even need to be here. I'll just give you guys your own show. Now, Zoo,
We need you.
coming in the clutch tonight, these last 3 minutes, the shot making so perfect from this group. What did you see from you guys down the stretch?
Just execution, we gave the ball to Bogey. Bogey was handling pick and roll, making right reads. He was finding me. He was finding his shot. He could have missed. Then Kawhi stepped in, hit some shots. Then James hit that little floater. Everyone's
something. I think that's because it's Zoo's birthday today, so we all kept hitting shots.
Look at this camaraderie. Look at these two guys. Both speaking the same language. Bogey, a perfect fit with this Clippers team. I knew he'd be.
Did you get him for his birthday?
Yeah, happy. I'm gonna get him something tonight. It's not 12 a.m. yet.
Way to play it off.
It ain't over yet. All right, last one for you, Zoo. What has gotten into this group over the last week and a half?
everyone getting back. We're finding our rhythm. Everyone is getting back, getting healthy. I think we can be a really good team when we're healthy. So it's all about staying consistent, trusting our work, trusting in what we do, and it's going to show up on the court.
All right, congrats, Big Zoo. Thank you, Bogey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Was something born out of Ivica Zubac getting 28 and 20 on his birthday, the day he was born? Was something born out of that type of victory in that fashion by this Clippers team? All I know is Free TV, who has been in here spamming relentlessly for a while, saying they're better without Kawhi, killing them. He better keep that same energy, just as loud as the disrespect was, for the praise now for Kawhi. You know what didn't make sense? You saying they were better without Kawhi. I kept telling you the numbers, the on-off splits, and how much better they were. You said, oh, shut up with your numbers. Clippers have won 7 of 8 now. And Kawhi looked like him last night, just like Ivica Zubac did. He wasn't the only guy, by the way. Sebastian Schweinsteiger, who's nowhere to be found, was saying some of the same nasty stuff. Y'all better apologize as profusely, as often as you had that criticism going for. And if Kawhi has a bad game on Friday, I don't want to hear, see, I was right. Relax. Rugby said that's a human being that doesn't know basketball. We're going to hear from Kawhi coming up here. Lots of post-game audio. I want to start with B. Shaw.
Time to sell your...
Oh, come on. I thought I was logged in. I pay for YouTube Premium. I don't want to hear these damn ads. Give me a second now. I refuse to listen to them. That's one of the best payments I've ever made. This is not an endorsement for YouTube or anything like that. I'm just saying it was really night and day. Not having to listen to ads anymore. That was one of the better purchases.
So, Coach Shaw, did you get this win?
All right. Here's Coach Shaw here.
This is Ty. Ty and JVG. What does it say about this team being able to be team the best record in the NBA?
Well, we talked about it before the game.
Free TV. This ain't one game. Have you looked at Kawhi's numbers? This ain't one game. That was his best game. Have you been looking at how Kawhi has been playing as of late? Last 4 games, 28, 7 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals per game, while shooting 60% from 3. This ain't one game. Let me stop that nonsense, that mess right now. You might think it's one game because you're the same guy that thought they were better without him. I'm paying attention.
If we do what we're capable.
All right, I want to see if I can find better sounding post-game audio from B. Shaw.
So, Coach Shaw, did you get this one?
Nah, this is Ty. Ty and JVG.
What does it say about this team being able to beat team the best record in the NBA?
Well, we talked about it before the game. If we do what we're capable of doing, we, kind of for the first time in a while, if not all season, we pretty much had everybody available.
Gee, sure makes a difference when you're healthy, but you guys wanted to judge a team that wasn't for so long. No, not you guys. Some of you guys. Free TV. Turns out it matters who is playing out there. That's who makes up the team. That's what gave you the expectations to begin with, the guys who make up the roster.
At our disposal tonight. And just trying to, it's tough when, when we have everybody healthy, we have depth. And, certain nights it's going to be different guys. It was great to see Kawhi, having that pop in his step tonight. Zoo,
B. Shaw acknowledges it. Great to see Kawhi having that pop in his step tonight.
just being
Then he talks about Zoo.
dominant the way he has been all season long. Some of the other guys that started didn't get to play as much tonight, but
Oh, by the way, because I just saw my man, Plain Man 2. I guess I should open up the phone lines. Let's do that here. Since Claybon's in the chat, 877-520-1150, 877-520-1150 is the phone number if you want to get on. We're reviewing the post-game audio from last night after the Clippers. Best victory of the season, 132-119 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is Clippers Talk, 166 days straight of it. But if you want to call in, we can take your calls. 877-520-1150.
That's the way it's going to go. It's going to be different guys, different nights. And, we just need each other pulling for each other and pulling in the same direction. And if we take care of the things that we need to take care of, we made adjustments. They came out just blazing hot in the first half, hitting everything.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what makes this most impressive. It looked like the Cavs had their A game. It looked like the Cavs were good. They just lost to Orlando. They get Evan Mobley back. They're fully healthy. They're fully loaded, just like the Clippers. There's no excuses. That's a great win. Cavs hit 11 threes in the first half. Clippers said, bet. We'll match you. We'll hit 12. And we'll just be down 5, even though we gave up 70 in the first half. Can't say enough about that victory.
But we withstood their runs. We came back and hit them with runs of our own. And nobody was, the good thing was it was nice to see when different guys got going at different times. Nobody tried to hijack the game. They just kept feeding whoever was hot. So Bogey had his moments.
I love hearing that. Nobody tried to hijack the game. They just kept feeding who was hot out there. I love that.
Who had his moments, Kawhi had his moments, James had his moments, and that's the way we're going to need to play if we want to be successful and go to where we want to get to.
Coach, when it comes to Zoo, 20 and 20, talk about him being able to accept that challenge going against these two talented bigs and, doing it on his birthday.
Yeah, it's a great birthday present to himself. And I mentioned this a few games ago. I've been able to watch Zoo's progression and his maturation. I was with him his first 3 years when he was with the Lakers.
That's important. He saw him with the Lakers. This is somebody that is very familiar with Zoo's history and B. Shaw.
He's just steadily gotten better and better, and I think the game has slowed down for him. His confidence is at an all-time high when we get the ball inside. Not only from the confidence, from the coaches standpoint, but from his teammates as well. Maybe in the past they may have been a little reluctant to throw the ball into him, and now when we need to settle the team down, we need a bucket. Everybody's okay with going in the zoo, and he usually delivers for us, and he does it in an efficient manner. And we know that we can count on him for a double-double, pretty much every single night. But to do it against this caliber team with two big guys, that they have, it can't help but boost his confidence even more.
Remember what B. Shaw said. We had the exclusive audio for you. This came pregame before the Detroit game. Remember this. It was Carlo Jimenez interviewing B. Shaw before he ended up filling in for Coach Lou multiple times now, 4 times recently. He's 3-1 over that stretch, but it does go to Coach Lou's record anyways. You remember when Luke Walton was winning all those games with the Golden State Warriors, and it still went to Steve Kerr's record? That's how it works. And his messaging, he's trying to keep it as seamless as possible, the transition from Coach Lou to him. Like, he's doing the same stuff. You're trying to fulfill the coach's agenda when you're an assistant coach. You're trying to push the same messaging. So he's not going out there and doing anything that drastically different, but he's doing well. He's holding it down. And I wanted to play that audio for you one more time, because this is one of Zoo's biggest advocates in B. Shaw. Remember what he said. Listen to this. This was pregame. After Zoo goes for his career high, I think it was 35 against Phoenix the night before, and he should have gone for 40. They didn't get him the basketball enough. Listen to what B. Shaw said then as they're about to take on Detroit.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here, the assistant coach Brian Shaw before the Clippers take on the Detroit Pistons. Coach Zoo, 35 points last game, a career high for him. What does it do for a player during the regular season when you're able to run an offense through him as a number one option that could help maybe down the line in a playoff-like situation?
Well, I mean, it gives them confidence. We have to get better as a team of recognizing when somebody like that is going the way he was going last night and as efficient as he was.
So, did you hear what B. Shaw said last night that we just played the audio for you from? He said nobody tried to hijack the offense. It's similar to his message here. You got to recognize who has it going. He said after last night, feed the hot hand. This is what he said a couple weeks ago.
We have to get better as a team of recognizing when somebody like that is going the way he was going last night and as efficient as he was, to keep featuring him and keep feeding him and put our personal agendas and individual accolades aside and keep riding him, because, from the beginning of the game, we were feeding him. They were double teaming him, which was why it was so beautiful the way we played in the first half. Everybody was involved. When they double teamed him, he kicked it out. Everybody made the right play. And then we didn't continue to do that in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter. We stopped getting the ball inside to him. And he, this year, obviously, it's been his best year of his career. And he's the biggest advantage that we have on a nightly basis.
He's the biggest advantage that we have on a nightly basis. That is strong from B. Shaw. But I'm with him. You know this.
And he's the biggest advantage that we have on a nightly basis. Teams are coming to double team him. And he's our most efficient player in terms of, scoring and his shot attempts and things of that nature. And so we just have to recognize that and ride it, while we can.
So that was B. Shaw before the Detroit game, where Harden dropped 50 right after they had just lost the night before in Phoenix and blew a 23-point lead where Ivica Zubac should have gone for a 40 spot. Here's more from B. Shaw from last night, speaking glowingly of Big Zoo. I guess he's getting a different question now. Maybe.
Defending that team. They only scored 17 in the fourth quarter. Obviously, I'm down felt they needed to defend to get back into the game. What was it like to just work with, especially Dante and DLC, to get back into this game and to, close this game out defensively the way y'all did?
Well, I know you all hear, next man up all the time. And that's truly what it was, with JBG being out, BOC, works the closest with him. So he stepped into that role. This was Dante's scout, Cleveland. So he gave us very good intel, on them as well. And, we had some lineups out there that hadn't played together before. And, certain situations like that, you just kind of have to go with your gut. I didn't, Zoo was going good. Kawhi was going good. We had them both out of the game. And that lineup, I think it was DJ, Amir, Ben, Bogey. I can't remember who the fifth player was, but they really gave us a shot in the arm, offensively and defensively. They kept pushing the pace, kept the pressure on.
I believe he's talking about the end of the third quarter, where the Cavs went about 3 minutes scoreless, and the Clippers started to make a push and take the lead finally. Out there at that time, I want to make sure I get this right for you. He couldn't remember the fifth guy either. It was Nico. That's right. Zoo was still out there. No, he eventually came out for Ben Simmons. That's what I thought. Nico, Ben Simmons, Derek Jones Jr., Harden, and Bogey. Those were the guys. And they were down 100-97. And by the end of that third quarter, they had a lead of 106-102. And Cleveland couldn't get anything to go the last 3 minutes and 27 seconds of the third. That was big. Excuse me, they had 2 points. I think Ty Jerome, made one. So the Clippers ended up going on a 7-2 run to end the third. That was big. And again, it was Bogey. It was Harden. That was the fifth guy he couldn't remember. It was Nico. It was Simmons and DJ. Back to B. Shaw.
I didn't, Zoo was going good. Kawhi was going good. We had them both out of the game. And that lineup, I think it was DJ, Amir, Ben, Bogey. I can't remember who the fifth player was, but they really gave us a shot in the arm, offensively and defensively. They kept pushing the pace, kept the pressure on them to defend us and stop us. So I was proud of them for that. And then, we got some valuable rest, and both Kawhi and Zoo, were like, look, whatever you need me for going down the stretch, I'm going to be there. And so, Norm was kind of the.
Kawhi did come out for a section of time in that fourth quarter. I thought he was going to play the entire fourth quarter because that would have got him to 38 minutes on the night. They have been still trying to keep him around 36 minutes. It hasn't always worked out that way. That's a soft target, a soft minutes restriction out there. I'm trying to see exactly when he came out for how long and what the plus minus was there. So the Clippers were up 115-108 at the 7:33 mark of the fourth quarter. Kawhi comes out for James Harden. When does he come back in? So they're up by 7. At the 5:11 mark. So he's out for just over 2 minutes, and they went -1 during that time. They were still up 119-113. I think they held it down. I think they did all right there. More B. Shaw.
The one that got the short end of the stick, but you know the group that we had, they had good chemistry. They were playing together, and so you know I just told Norm, I said, you know, apologize for not getting you back in the game, but next game it's going to be a different person. It'll be your night, and it won't be one of the other guys' nights. And that's that. You know, when you have depth, you have versatility, then that's a good problem to have.
So there's that tough decision he had to make. And you got to give him credit for this. He stuck with Bogey late over Norman Powell, who was just back in his second game. He was in foul trouble. He's not right yet. He only played 18 minutes. He was 3 of 6, 1 of 2 from the outside for his 11 points in 18 minutes. But you could see the timing, the rhythm wasn't there. He was fouling. And B. Shaw rode the hot hand with Bogey going 8 of 8 from the field. I think that might have been a franchise record to finish perfect like that on at least 8 shots in a ball game. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. If you saw a statistic on that last night, I saw something, but now it escapes me. I can't find it. But that's a big move because eventually it's likely going to be Norm Powell closing a lot of games. But he said it. He told Norm, you know, next game will be different. Tonight, it was Bogey's night.
Coach, before the game, you spoke about what made this team tough with the dynamic guards of Garland and Mitchell. But tonight, they struggled. It seems you guys made them see bodies consistently.
Yeah, Garland and Mitchell both struggled. As hot as they were in the first half, it wasn't so much them. It was the others. DeAndre Hunter, I think, started 6 of 6. You know, you had Max Strus go for his season high of 24. He was 5 of 8 from 3. Darius Garland finished with just 17 on 6 of 14 shooting, 2 of 6 from the outside. Donovan Mitchell, 5 of 18. And Kawhi was on him some, 2 of 9 from 3, 18 points. You're good with that. They combined for 35 inefficiently. Now, they did, credit to them here, they had 19 assists combined to 4 turnovers. So they were making the right plays a lot, but Donovan Mitchell ended up a minus 19. Garland was a plus 8.
What was it that you guys did schematically that made it difficult for them, whether it was transition defense or in the half court?
Well, I think, you know, one of the things that we did was we put pressure on them to defend on the other end, you know, not just have a night where they just get to freelance on the offensive side. We put them in a lot of the actions and made them have to guard Kawhi and have to guard, you know, James.
This was the turning point of the game to me. I felt early on the Clippers were getting matchup hunted. James Harden was getting put in every damn action. Whoever he was guarding, his man would come up, set the screen, so therefore James Harden would switch on to that ball handler. And it tended to be somebody pretty talented. They would go past James, and now your defense is scrambling. Zubac has to come over to help. Guys are in rotation. They were getting 2 feet in the paint. It was drive, kick, swing from the Cleveland Cavaliers. But then towards the end of the first half, they started targeting Darius Garland. Like I said in the preview, that's what you need to do. It's not that he's a terrible defender, but he's the weakest link out there. Go at him. They started to make him work then. Kawhi was cooking him. That's the difference. I love what B. Shaw is saying here. You got to make them have to guard. That'll wear out their legs.
What was it that you guys did schematically that made it difficult for them, whether it was transition defense or in the half court?
Well, I think, you know, one of the things that we did was we put pressure on them to defend on the other end, you know, not just have a night where they just get to freelance on the offensive side. We put them in a lot of the actions and made them have to guard Kawhi and have to guard, you know, James with movement, so that they had to expend energy on the defensive end as well. And I think that took its toll. And, you know, we gave them a lot of different looks from KD to to Derek Jones, to Amir Coffey, just different guys, giving them different looks, and also Kawhi, throw him into that mix as well. So I thought we played physical. I thought at times we fouled too much, but overall, I thought we balanced our physicality with just good position defense and making them work on the defensive end as well, keeping the pressure on them.
I'm telling you, and I came and said this to Brian Seaman at the half, and we talked about it for a second, and he agreed, so I know I'm right. The matchup hunting that was going on the first half of this game was next level. It was playoff-like. You see a weakness, go after it. Cleveland was spamming it. They were going after Harden relentlessly. And they were getting great stuff out of it, obviously. Scored over 70 in the first half because of it. The Clippers were better handling it in the second half, and they started doing it much more to Darius Garland on the other end. That's how it has to be. When there's not a lot of weaknesses against great teams, you got to find whatever you can and pick at it. And I was super impressed with the way the Cavaliers did it in the first half. I thought their game plan discipline was elite, and the Clippers eventually came around and started doing the same thing to them.
Bogey had a big game tonight for you guys. What has he given you since his arrival here in terms of his ability to be a release valve for Kawhi and James, and how they've been able to play off of him, and he's been able to kind of still get to the spots that he wants to get to?
Yeah, I mean, when everything is working, it's a beautiful thing to see.
He's talking about Bogey here, and do not be fooled. It wasn't just 3-pointers. Tough mid-range shots. Fallaways. That's who Bogey is. And guess what? Just like that, now he's shooting 40% from 3 as a Clipper. So many people were coming in here after the first handful of games from Bogdanovic and saying, oh, bad trade and shouldn't have let go of Terrence and probably should have kept KPJ and kept him in that as that backup ball handler role. Bogey ran a pick and roll with Ivica Zubac late in the ball game where he kept his dribble alive, probed the defense, got into the paint, was patient, waited, and eventually found Ivica Zubac for an easy layup. It was such a beautiful play. And he ended up with 7 assists. You got to understand, Bogey is not just a sniper. He can do much more.
One, he has the ultimate confidence in himself. And I think you can see that when he's out there on the floor, the way he struts around on the floor.
I told you, my guy Bogey is a dog. He's got that fire in his belly. He's a badass. He lives for the big games.
But he spaces the floor up for us. Obviously they have to guard him out to past the 3-point line. Once they decide to do that, then it just opens it up even more for James and Kawhi and even Zoo. And so everybody being willing to play off of one another, everybody being willing to make the pass and play unselfishly is only going to help us, down the line. And it makes it hard for teams to scout us because, what do you really want to take away? When you take something, you take away Kawhi, you take away Zoo, and it leaves Bogey, when he's in the game. It'll be the same thing with Norm. He's our attack guy, getting downhill, playing with pace, so that's another option that we'll have as well. You got Nico setting screens, slipping out, just finding the open gaps and doing all the little things. And so, Bogey gave us, him coming to our team really gave us a shot in the arm. And, helped us out in all of those areas. Like I said, spacing, being able to handle the ball and take some of the pressure off of James to handle. And then when we want to seek out mismatches, like I said, they have to account for him out to the 3-point line, and that leaves the paint and everything open.
What did I tell you guys when Kawhi came back? What would happen? What did I keep telling you? Their offensive rating would shoot up. It has. I can go back now. Let's see. If I go back 10 games, the Clippers have the third best offensive rating in the league. If I go back 12, they're fourth. I told you it was going to happen when Kawhi came back. And then if you just hold on to where you were defensively, you're in business. So they have the third best net rating over their last 10 games, while having the third best offensive rating and the 10th best defensive rating. The defense has been coming around the last 4 or 5 games, but the offense has been good. The other thing I told you was the turnovers. With James, with this team overall, we're going to go down significantly when Kawhi came back. Well, last 10 games, Clippers just 11.8 turnovers per game. Fourth best in the league. I tried to tell you, Kawhi was going to cure a lot of what ails them on the offensive side. So if you merge a good offense with where their defense already was this season, now you're cooking with gas.
Thank you.
There was the end of B. Shaw. Now we'll hear from Kawhi Leonard postgame.
Kawhi, I don't know if statement wins are really the thing you guys need at this point, but did that feel like the kind of statement win for you guys, beating the best team in the NBA record-wise?
Like I said before, we need these wins coming down the stretch right now, and it's giving you a playoff atmosphere, especially with the crowd being engaged the whole time. Thanks to the fans showing up tonight.
Kawhi shouting out Clipper Nation into a dome, showing up. That was the best atmosphere and the best environment all season long. It felt like a playoff game consistently throughout it. It was awesome. The Sacramento game was up there. The Detroit game was up there, but this was at the very top to me.
What's working with that lineup when you come in second quarters, fourth quarters with Bogey, with Ben, with Nico, both sides of the floor?
Just pushing the pace, running the floor, trusting one another. Tonight we got stops early, and that got us out in transition. And like I said, trusting each other on offense. Letting Bogey handle, me handle, and trying to set up everybody else.
Let Bogey handle the ball. Let me handle the ball. This is it. They have the formula.
With T-Lou, Jeff not being able to be here, what was it like working with the rest of the coaches staff to get this win?
It was great. They all stepped up tonight. Even the guys behind the bench. Jeremy did a good job of keeping me focused and locked in tonight. And, appreciate him being there. He's a guy that always talks to T-Lou and is always locked in every day.
After the game, B. Shaw said that.
All right, I'm going to get to Stephen A's comments in a little bit here. I will, because you guys keep talking about it. I understand it's of interest to you. We also got Claybon on hold. We'll get to him in a second, but I want to get through Kawhi here first.
Even the guys behind the bench, Jeremy did a good job of keeping me focused and locked in tonight. And, appreciate him being there. He's a guy that always talks to T-Lou and is always locked in every day.
After the game, B. Shaw said that he thinks Bogey's really given you guys a shot in the arm since his arrival. Kind of what have you seen out of Bogey since he's been here?
Competitive nature, wanting to win games, tough.
Competitive nature. He's always said this about Bogey Kawhi since he's been here. He knows he is somebody that has a desire and a passion for the game and a will to win. He's always had that.
Competitive nature, wanting to win games, tough guy. Trying to pick it up on the defensive end as well, and he's making shots too.
Well, you're historically one of the more efficient guys the way you play. I think you're at game 26, 27 right now. Like, does it feel like you're getting back to where you want to be? Is there still room for you, or how are you kind of evaluating yourself at this point?
Just like winning. I'm not trying to get back to a certain point.
Listen, Kawhi here saying, I'm not looking to try to get back to a certain point. Look at his philosophy and his thought process. Listen to this. I think this is really fascinating.
I'm not trying to get back to a certain point. It's about what's in front of me. I always said that.
It's about what's in front of me. And I've always said that. And he has. Since he came back from the ACL, he's been preaching this.
So it's not nothing to do with the past. It's just about being better and being better in my role this year and what's in front of me.
Zoo talked about his growth.
Like, to be able to not chase ghosts and be like, okay, I got to get back to who I was before. I don't think he's worried about who he was before. I think in Kawhi's mind, he believes he can be a better player than that. And that's why whenever he's come back from these injuries, we have seen, up to this point, a better offensive player every time. Every time he's returned, he's gotten better. It's still early in the process this time around. We'll see. But last night was very encouraging.
Growth, really, since he got.
Oh, by the way, month of March, and this is 8 games from Kawhi, 25 points, 51% from the field, 40% from 3, 6 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals per game. That's star-level stuff.
To the Clippers, and now when he first got here, didn't know.
So it's not nothing to do with the past. It's just about being better and being better in my role this year and what's in front of me.
Zoo talked about his growth, really, since he got to the Clippers, and now when he first got here, didn't know a whole lot, really anything close to what he knows now. And then B-Shaw was saying post-game that guys may have been hesitant to throw him the ball early in his career, but now you guys are trusting him down the stretch. How have you seen him evolve since, I mean, you've been with him for pretty much most of his time since he's been here?
As years ago, you get better. He definitely wasn't ready to get the ball the earlier years when I was here. Like I said, he progressed. He wasn't scoring on smalls as easy, getting the ball swiped out of his hands. Now he's, being more aggressive. When it's 2 on him, he's dunking the ball. He's also being patient in his post-ups. And, as you get more touches, you start to get more patient. You don't feel like, oh, let me score the ball. So
this is a really interesting point right here. This is important. As you get more touches, you're not as sped up. Oh, I have to score because this might be my only time touching the ball tonight. So I got to score right now. Now that he's being featured more often, Ivica Zubac, he's more patient with it because he knows the ball. He knows that the ball is going to come back around his way.
When I was here, like I said, he progressed. He wasn't scoring on smalls as easy, getting the ball swiped out of his hands. Now he's, being more aggressive. When it's 2 on him, he's dunking the ball. He's also being patient in his post-ups. And, as you get more touches, you start to get more patient. You don't feel like, oh, let me score the ball. So
listen to that.
Touches. He's also being patient in his post-ups. And, as you get more touches, you start to get more patient. You don't feel like, oh, let me score the ball. So, the selfishness is, he never was, but you know what I mean? Every player feels that way when they get it. And then now it's starting to kind of go away. And, he knows I'm going to get the ball back, so let me pass and score this. But just more efficient, too, with his hook shots and everything.
I think that's a really interesting point by Kawhi about young players and the maturation process. When you only get the ball a little bit, when you know you're only going to get so many touches out there, you probably put a lot of pressure on yourself to have to score, and that takes away from playing a team brand of basketball. You're going into ISO mode more. You're trying to get your points. You're trying to show that's how you can make your name in this league. But to be a better team player, you got to play within the offense and not just try to get a bucket every time you touch the basketball. Elevate those around you. Make players around you better. And now that Ivica Zubac knows he's getting the ball much more, he's being more patient. He's not just rushing it, looking to take a shot. His passing is much better. So I do think the biggest difference is just him getting the basketball more. It's the opportunity. I don't think his skill set has changed that much. His mindset may have because he's getting the ball more, but he's been extremely talented for a long time.
Seems to be a reliable scorer now, not just a one-off here. Most games he seems to be doing pretty well offensively.
Okay, Kawhi gets annoyed with this question because it's basically the same question. And Kawhi fights through it and tries to give an answer anyways, but listen to this. This is hilarious to me.
It is, but just more efficient too with his hook shots and everything.
He seems to be a reliable scorer now, not just a one-off here. Most games he seems to be doing pretty well offensively. How much does that add to have just another guy who can put it in?
Just what I just said, it's pretty much the same question. He's being great and efficient, and if we see him, in his spot and he's being physical, we're going to give him the ball, and we trust him down there every night.
Going forward,
Kawhi was doing his best. And for a second there, he had like his hand to his face, like, I just answered this. I get it. It can be frustrating. It wasn't a great question, or didn't, diverge too much from what he was just asked. So, oh boy.
like you said, what areas do you see that you could still improve upon?
Us with us, just our transition defense. It's always could be better.
How about yourself?
And just executing.
Personally,
I don't know. I'm playing.
Okay, this is good right here. Asking Kawhi, how can he get better? Kawhi was a little taken aback, it looked like, his reaction to this.
Always could be better.
How about yourself?
And just executing.
Personally,
I don't know.
He says, I don't know.
I'm playing the game. I don't care. Whatever I need to do to win that night, that's what I'm going to do. It's not for
whatever I got to do to win that night. That's what I'm going to do.
I need to do to win that night. That's what I'm going to do. It's not for me to just come out here and try to prove a point to get to the best, possible me.
It's not up to me to come out here and prove a point to try to get to the best possible me. I love that. That goes back to B. Shaw saying, like, nobody tried to hijack the offense. No, you got to put individual accolades and agendas aside. That's never a problem with Kawhi. He's a completely unselfish of a superstar as you can get.
That's what I'm going to do. It's not for me to just come out here and try to prove a point to get to the best, possible me. Like I said before, guys play half of the season, and they deserve what they're doing, and I'm here to try to help.
So this goes back to what he said Sunday night, which raised my eyebrow. He said it goes back. Listen to this one more time.
Half of the season, and they deserve. Like I said before, guys play half of the season, and they deserve what they're doing, and I'm here to try to help.
Guys played half of the season. They deserve what they're doing. I'm here to try to help. Kawhi is basically saying, I'm not asking them to fit in around me. I'll fit in around them. They've been here. They've been doing it. Now, at some point, they might have to fit in around him. And in this game, they did defer to him in big moments. So maybe it could just happen naturally where they play through Kawhi, where it's understood and he doesn't have to be outspoken about it because he's Kawhi and wouldn't be anyways. Maybe Coach Lue says something about the pecking order and the hierarchy of how they're going to run things late in ball games. But I do think there's a leadership side to this where it's really cool to see Kawhi acknowledge how well the guys have been playing and saying, they've earned it. It's not up to them to fit in around me when they've been here doing this all season. It's about me fitting in next to them.
Possible me. Like I said before, guys play half of the season, and they deserve what they're doing, and I'm here to try to help.
What did you say about
that? Is a rarity. Do I think at times he's going to have to be more selfish for this team to get to their highest point? Yes. But he's been averaging about 20 shots per game in March. So it's not like he's taking 13, 14 shots. There seems to be a difference in that messaging post game that he's been saying and what's still happening out there on the court, where it does look like he is playing like a number one. They are treating him like they're number one. So maybe it's not, as I went through and did an entire episode post game Sunday night about this after his post game comments. Maybe it's not as big of a deal in terms of it needs to be blatant or explicit that Kawhi is the number one. It's just naturally, organically, things will flow that way in the offense as we move along here, especially in big moments, just like how it happened last night.
Last question. What does it say about just the level of commitment? Norm had a strong first half. You guys didn't play in that fourth quarter, given that unit was playing well. Just the level of sacrifice and buy-in from everyone overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of medical and coaching. I'm just not trying to put him in harm's way, just knowing that was his, second game back from the hamstring. And like you said, we were rolling a little bit in that fourth. So, it's kind of like why chance it in a sense. But he's definitely going to play down the stretch. He's one of the better players in the fourth quarter.
I got one more, if you don't mind. You mentioned the crowd tonight and how engaged they were. It seemed like this was the loudest it's been this season. How different does it feel from Staples when you have these late games like this?
Joey Lynn, great question.
Me personally don't, I don't feel a big difference, but just from the beginning of the season and now, like I said before, like fans are being great and are coming in and seats are being filled, and it was great tonight and into it.
There was Kawhi post game. Now, and it was great last night into a dome. That was a really cool atmosphere. That is the dream of Steve Ballmer. The home court advantage is underway. After losing their first 4 games there, they've only lost their last 6. They've only lost 6 since November. They've been dominant. Third best home record in the league since November. You guys want me to listen to what Stephen A. Smith said about Kawhi? I haven't heard this yet. I'll play it. I'll react to it.
I'm not sold on the Clippers. The reason I'm not sold on the Clippers is because I'm just looking at my watch and I'm just looking at the dates and the calendar and I'm just waiting for Kawhi Leonard to get hurt. That's all. I know that come playoff time, he's not going to be available. Molly, I'm not letting this go. This is a man that went into a playoff series against the Phoenix Suns, dropped 38, walked off the court, looked perfectly fine. And then 4 o'clock the next day, we're like, hey, he's out for the year. What? What happened? I mean, this is the kind of
why is he acting like he's almost insinuating here that like Kawhi is faking that he tore his meniscus? What happened was he tore his meniscus. Plenty of guys end up playing through injuries and then later on you find something out after an MRI. That's how this works. Later on, your knee swells up. The hell is he talking about? He seems to be inferring like Kawhi just didn't want to play. He got legitimately injured. I think he got injured at the end of game 1 against Phoenix and played through it in game 2. You're not going to have a guy continue to play on a torn meniscus in his right knee after he just came back from the torn ACL in his right knee, who has had chronic knee issues. Like, that's not even Kawhi's decision. But I hate the way he framed this. I'm upset.
And then 4 o'clock the next day, we're like, hey, he's out for the year. What? What happened? I mean, this is the kind of when we saw when Paul George gets injured, we see what happened. When other players get injured, we actually see that. Damn, we go, Jalen Brunson go down. I hope he's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying?
He's doubling down on this. He's acting like we never saw the injury, so it's fair to question it. He had surgery. What the hell are you talking about? What, did they make up the surgery to repair his meniscus? This is what's wrong with sports media. It's Stephen A. A lot of it is. Exhibit A. My God. This is so reckless. This would have been looked at 20, 25 years ago as unprofessional. Now it's just like par for the course to get this stuff off.
Brunson go down. I hope he's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Cooper Flag at Duke, for crying out loud. I hope he's going to be okay. Kawhi Leonard walked up it's like Monica McNutt at a party, you know what I'm saying? She's like, yo, this is Kawhi Leonard. He's walking off, he looked just fine. And then
I'm not amused.
Between one game and the next game, we don't know whether it was him going to the bathroom, hitting Chick-fil-A, chilling out at some bar, hanging out in the house, or something. He walked up the stairs, something happened, and he can't play.
I am not amused. I kind of wish I didn't hear this. But Stephen A. really can't help himself. Like, there are plays you can look at from that series. I think from the end of game 1, where people have suspected he tore his meniscus based upon his movement. This isn't hard. Just do some research. Just actually have an ounce of professionalism and work ethic here to just look at the facts. You think he had knee surgery because he didn't have a torn meniscus?
He walked up the stairs, something happened, and he can't play. So I can't get excited about the Clippers because, yes, last night was an impressive win. Cleveland, 2 losses in a row after a 16-game winning streak. I get all that, and they deserve credit for it. It's a bigger win for them than it was, more impressive for the Clippers than it was for the Warriors.
I get all that, but I also have a dismissive tone at the same time.
Answer the question. I am just allergic to excitement with anything that involves Kawhi Leonard. I just am.
Look, I understand pessimism and skepticism on whether or not he can stay healthy, and the right knee has been troublesome. I get all that. But don't put this like he was faking an injury because you don't know the exact play it happened, and he walked off the court that night after game 2 against Phoenix. I remember my guy Chris Jenkins from the Carolina Panthers back in the day tore his ACL and played like 3 or 4 more plays. This stuff happens. Again, do you think Kawhi had knee surgery that offseason because he didn't have a torn meniscus? You think he just didn't want to play? After looking great, cooking KD and Booker, looking like the best player in that series, he's a 2-time finals MVP. He has the pedigree. He's a champion. Why are you questioning him? It's just gross, man. It's so disappointing. Like, there are like college classes that study this shit. And it baffles me. Like, this is Stephen A. Smith courses. This is what you want to aspire to be. This is the pinnacle of sports journalism or sports analysts work, pundit work. Just being outrageous with everything you're saying, looking for clickbait, looking for me to give it a reaction. I've been saying for years, and if you look at the very first show, go to the video section at Clippers Talk. The very first show I ever did was about this very subject with Stephen A. And I've been saying for years, I hope there's a hot take bubble coming where people eventually tune out. And I think it's happened to a degree because Skip is out, where people eventually, it just becomes white noise. They don't care anymore. They're not interested in these people's opinions. Everybody has an opinion now. Everybody is their own channel. There's so many different platforms where you can get a voice from that. Why are we still elevating people like this and acting like this is the peak of sports media? It's the downfall, if anything. I need to cleanse the palate. Claybon. Claybon is on Clippers Talk. He has returned. Claybon, what's good? You got a reaction to Stephen A?
Ooh, wee. Back one more gives in. You know what's up, Adam? You know I got something to say about it. First of all, yeah, we did it. Yeah, we knew they was going to do it. All right? We ain't never doubted Kawhi Leonard. We ain't never doubted the Beard and everybody working together as a unit, man. Kawhi Skywalker is back. Stephen A. Smith. All right? Hey, he sounded like Stephen from Django, man. He sounded like one of them house ninjas. I can't stand him. I can't stand him, dude. Hey, I'm going to blame LeBron James was ready to smack him. You ready to choke him up because you're a clown, man. You always got something foolish to say about the ones that are great just because, I mean, he's entertaining. He's a clout chaser, okay? Him and Malika Andrews, man. Hey, everybody going to drown them clowns out in good time because that's what we do. All right, when people love something, they truly have a passion for it, man, they're going to fade away, man. Like a bad memory, because that's a clown right there.
I hope so, but
like he faked that. What you?
No, Claybon is just, what does he make? $8 million per year now? He is ESPN. He is what you relate most to that channel now. The guy I like is the couple guys I like. Scott Van Pelt. I like Tim Legler. I'm trying to think who else here. I thought
Kendrick Perkins, I think, does a pretty fair job. You know what I'm saying?
There were times where I liked Kendrick more than others. He's also, though, I think at first he took it more seriously, and now he's fallen into the trap of going with too many hot takes. But continue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. Because one thing I can say, Kendrick Perkins, when I play Press Rewind, Kendrick Perkins was one of the first ones to say, hey, I can see the Clippers going all the way. A healthy Clippers, he was giving us big ups with nobody. Everybody act like we like the redheaded stepchild. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to address the elephant in the room. All right? With this lineup healthy, all right, what is it? The 3 C's: confidence, chemistry, and cooperation. When they put them 3 C's on the court, you have a perfect blend of youth mixed with veterans that are hungry. When you have that balance, like with the Cavaliers, they got a lot of young dudes. Like, I was talking to my man. I was like, hey, Cavaliers have a nice squad. All right, I unintentionally watched like a 30, 40-minute, highlight reel of all their games, and I was able to see. This happened like last Thursday, and I was like, damn, I didn't really realize how good they were. But one thing that they don't have is that blend of veteran and rookie talent, young talent, man. I'm telling you, it's like a
you're kind of cooking. Well, no, look, they got young talent, but I agree they don't have as many veterans.
Exactly, and I think that can hurt you in a crunch time position. Like, I saw them make a lot of crunch time plays. It's just points where I see the confidence dwindle. Let's say you can go to Darius Garland or Mitchell not having a hot night, or he's having a hot night, but they're double teaming him, so they can't go to Allen or the post in general. It's like, look, they get nervous, man, and they start dropping and giving up the ball. The same thing happens with OKC, right? Let them have an off night, and the lack of that veteran motivation. Like, we got somebody like Patty Mills to come off the bench and put up a couple three. You're like, look at Patty Mills. Damn, oh man. Hey man, we can do this. It puts a pep in your step. When you see that and you see them persevere, like, hey man, they've been there before. They've been in those situations. So as a young man, not being in a super playoff position before, that can weigh down on you. That's what happened to the Tatum and Brown in their run before they finally became champions. You have to know that feeling. You have to understand it, and you have to feed off of it instead of letting it feed on you. You know what I'm saying? And now that the Clippers, we have been through it. We have been through it. We have been forced to reach deep into our bench. I still go back to the game where we played our second and third string against the Boston Celtics, and we took them into overtime. Like look, the Boston Celtics were looking confused, like, damn, like, where they get all this talent from? Yeah, it's been there. And if we get put in tight situations, I don't know whose choice it was to sit out all the All-Stars. I mean, Zubac, Powell, Harden, everybody was on the sideline. Of course, Kawhi. I was like, damn, they let them play, and they were playing lights-out basketball. I think they felt more confident. You know, you had the young dudes put on display, and they was like, hey, this is your do or die time. You know, Ty Lue was always saying, you know, when you get your chance, you know, we're gonna call on you when you get your chance to be ready. And damn it, I think Brian B. Shaw has been doing an awesome job. Awesome job, man. Look at that. He said, hey, he told Powell, you know what I'm saying, you might not be your night this night. You know, he apologized to him, and like he said, he said, that's all right. You know what I'm saying? Because next time it's gonna be your time. Next game. I love that, man. If they would have had that when they had Westbrook, Paul George, and all that, instead of everybody, you know, trying to hot dog out there, hot dogging and putting up hero shots. And no. If they had that type of triple C power, they would have been able to do something, but they didn't. And there was too many egos on that team that had to go. You know what I'm saying? And
Look, having said that, last year's team or the last 2 years, it still came down to just Kawhi not being able to stay healthy. You could talk about the issues they may have had at times, but I mean, even that team that was so up and down during the 22-23 season, they get into game 1 against Phoenix, and they look like dogs out there, and Kawhi looked like the best player in the series. It's still, we overanalyze some stuff when it's as simple as, well, Kawhi hasn't been able to stay healthy. But what we're not going to do is question his injuries when the guy has had multiple surgeries. It's one thing to say a guy can't stay healthy. That's fair. That's historical fact. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. He hasn't been able to finish the last 4 playoff runs with the Clippers. But for Stephen A to say that stuff there, to act like, well, we didn't see the injury, to act like what, Kawhi just didn't want to play? Are you kidding me? He just wanted to get a surgery for fun? That's what bothers me.
I agree. Straight coonery and buffoonery. All right, that's all that is, man. Because when you understand, like even Kawhi was saying, like they were asking him if he's going to do it. The same, like is he going to get back to his peak form and he like something to that measure. But he said something real. He was like, you know, due to my injuries, you know, basically he was just going into him playing different now. You know, learning how to play different and basically evolve his game. And that's what we've seen. He's been shooting lights out from the 3-point line, okay? He's playing different, and he's minimizing his
I'll be
chances.
honest. I don't think he's playing that different when he's out there taking shots. I think the shot profile looks very similar, but he is trying to fit in with the rest of the team and not making them just fit around him right now because he said they deserve it with the way they played the first half of this season. But you look at the shots he was making last night, Claybon, the fadeaway he had on the right elbow on D Wade, and then the spinning fall away jumper over Evan Mobley right before he hit the 3-pointer over him. That was nasty. That's as good as Kawhi has looked.
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. You had them looking crazy. They were like, damn. They were shaking their head. Look, this is what they need to see. It's what these young dudes need to see. They seeing like a veteran in their prime form. It's like trying to see a prime Ali. Like, by the time a lot of these cats get around to seeing these great fighters, they're at the end of their spear. You know what I'm saying? But he is still in his prime because he has learned how to adapt with his injury and become a different player. Even Dwayne Wade has to do that. You know, and I think that Derrick Rose started doing that towards the end of his career. but I think he started adjusting too late, because he wasn't the same player that he was. He lost that shift that year. But later on in his career, he started finding his shot, but I think it was a little bit later. Like, I think that it depends on how quick you're able to adapt to that major change.
Well, the thing
Can
is,
you build your game around? I think.
but wouldn't you say, Claybon, Kawhi had an old man game from the beginning? He's always like,
True.
okay, it wasn't
True.
nearly this refined because he wasn't this level of offensive player. But even in 2014, he was still very young when he won Finals MVP. But he's never been the best athlete on the floor. That hasn't changed. He is somebody that relies on high skill level and that old man mid-range game.
That's very true. That is very true. That's why I love the way he plays the game, because he plays from a place of like respect for his elders. You know what I'm saying? He's able to take the old school or the new school, and he plays with a balanced game. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of cats get carried away with their ability, seeing the ability to dunk, and that's all good. You know what I'm saying? But we've seen a lot of greats go down because of that type of wear and tear, with Tracy McGrady, with Vince Carter, and it's good, it's refreshing to be able to see players like Kawhi and like Kevin Durant play that game. Like, yeah, can they do that? Yeah, when they need to, you're going to see a dynamic dunk when you need to. But what you're going to see is the basics given to you in such a fashion that it catches a lot of these youthful players that play at a constant fast pace or catch and shoot pace. Because, the Clippers play a lot of isolation. And when they play that isolation and then they get the screen and they switch off to, like, what Kawhi, I know they started doing last night, he kept switching off to Mitchell. He'll have somebody.
Well, he was going at Mitchell and Garland. He was trying to find them too.
Yep. And it was seamless how he did it, because he has that veteran wit. He was like, oh, yeah.
But here's
James Harden.
Here's what's funny, though, Claybon. On the turnaround fadeaway on Evan Mobley, Bogey was coming up to set the screen to get Kawhi on Garland, and Kawhi just said, F it, I'm going to work right now against Evan Mobley on the right baseline. Like, that was incredible. He just said, I'm not even going to keep hunting this. I got Evan Mobley. He may be the defensive player of the year. I'm going to cook him right now.
That's right. Yeah, he grabbed that pot, man. He grabbed that seasoning and said, I'm gonna cook him. Let me cook him. Let me cut some carrots, potatoes up, and let me throw it in there for some seasoning, man. I'm cooking them tonight, man. That's what I love to see. He wasn't playing. He was like, hey, him and James Harden. You seen James Harden picking his defenders and then blowing past them? What they said he couldn't do it no more.
Well, he got Evan Mobley with the crossover. He got Evan Mobley caught with the crossover. And then James Harden put his hands on his face like, oh, did you just see that? I mean, that was like a Drew League type of play. And he did it to a defensive player of the year. A nominee, he may win it.
Woo! Look, man. Everybody, like, all these haters, you know what I'm saying? Like my man, Live TV and all, Free T, whatever his name was. He came in, man, talking crazy. I'm like, dog, you got to be cloud chasing, because what all these young players just saw was a one-on-one of what the real, when you respect the old school and the new school, like you can play like Clyde. He remind me of like a Clyde Drexler, the way he plays, the way Kawhi plays. You know what I'm saying? Like a mid-age Clyde Drexler. He has it all. And that mid-range, you don't understand. That was Michael Jordan. They always talking about him being the best player. That was his bread and butter. He wasn't jacking up all of these threes. He was killing them off of that jump shot, that mid-range, that turnaround.
No, Claybon, I've been saying for years, Kawhi is MJ 96. He's second three-peat MJ. He looks like second three-peat MJ out there. Last night, certainly.
Yes, man. Offensively and defensively. You see the way he was getting them picks in the post, and he was throwing like in Bogey, man. Shout out to Bogey going around. I think that was a pass. I can't remember. I think it was the third or fourth quarter. He passed it kind of wide, and Bogey came around the defender, and he still caught it with his fingertips and took it. I was like, look, man. Look. Confidence, chemistry, and cooperation. Like, hey, Brian Shaw said it best. Everybody was in agreement. Nobody was trying to play their own game. That's what we need to see. I respect Anthony Edwards' talent. Man, I can't stand that dude. What did he call him? Some old Nick? Man, come on, dog. For real? When he said that to Kawhi Leonard.
Well, you remember what Kawhi said
about
back? He said, yeah, you're old. You're the old guy. I'm the young guy. We're taking over. And Kawhi boxed him out and said, hell no.
Thank you. Thank you. This is, look, man, for somebody to come in and think just because the focus is on the youth right now and they thinking like, hey, we can do anything and y'all can't stop us. All of that makes sense until they hit their first injury. Because it's going to happen later on in somebody's career. How are you going to take that first injury? It's going to make or break you. And it's made of broken great players. So they're talking all like great and all crazy and all of this prideful talk while they're good to go. But how are you going to respond to your first injury? Because you're playing hard, you're playing great, but you always have to keep that in your mind, you know? And a lot of these players that's talking all that big talk, when it happens to them, they can't even respond well. They're just like, oh, man, like, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Then they come back and they just not the same. Don't be one of those players. And then we look back and see, like Paul George, he's all player, all player. They came back to bite him in his ass at the end. Okay, I'm going to have to be honest with you. It came back, and now it's like, dog, that's really an insult. You just insulted your brand with that. Now every time people hear playoff P, they don't be like, oh snap, playoff P is in the building, y'all. He's gonna do it. No, they're like, oh God, you know, it's an embarrassment.
He put a target on his own back by saying that. Paul George did.
Right.
He put a kick me sign on his back.
Man, hey, straight up. And they're dragging, kicking him straight in his back to the point now he's over there in Philadelphia. You know, when you're a proud player and you talk all that noise, now you're in Philadelphia. And then what did you do? You started talking trash about the Clippers, right? Of course, podcast P, all of that. You got too much going on. You trying to make residuals in other places. Your mind and your heart is in another place. And you saw that when he went on Philadelphia. What happened? Just like when Anthony Davis, unfortunately, he got injured. First game. Do you know how that looks? Who won the trade war? We did, of course. We got more valuable people than Nico Batum, man. Our favorite Frenchman. And say that game is solid. Him starting, that was genius. Didn't nobody see that? No team could adjust to that. They like, damn, wow, they got Nico Batum. Yeah. The French captain of the Paris team, all right, the silver medalist, Olympic silver medalist, Nico Batum. Stop sleeping on his name, man. That's a day. We got a real one back. I wish we could have got what's my man's name? We traded Kennard. I wish we could have got Kennard back, but I think we got something better in Bogey, man. You know what I'm saying? I think we got a multi-act player. You know.
I agree with you. Claybon, what do you think about your guy, Ben Simmons, last night?
Put it up, Ben. Ben Simmons came in and did what he was supposed to do, okay? He's coming off of, wasn't that like his second game back, right? That was the second game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Second or third game back now, yeah.
Hey, man, he's getting into it. He was already getting into his niche then. Hey, he came in and played key roles. He was getting the ball rotated. He was putting nice screens forward and helping set up different picks, getting those rebounds. He looked good, man. That's what we need. We got players getting their confidence back. You know what I'm saying? That were slept on stars and powerhouses and role players. People slept on them. We got like the perfect look, man. Clips for the chip. All right, we got the clips for the chips. All right. Why? Because we have a beautiful blend of humble players. We don't have a bunch. Look, what was his name? KPJ. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I really felt like he had a problem. Like he had an ego. You know what I'm saying? I saw an ego issue. That's why he played a lot of that hero hot dog ball, hot dogging, and inconsistent with it. You know, putting up and jacking up these threes. You ain't even like that from the 3-point line. First of all, you know what I'm saying? I respect it when he did get hot, but my thing is this: I saw a conflict between him and Jordan Miller. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I look at chemistry and I look for certain certain responses and psychological responses that people have to people that they don't like, and they were all there. He won. I guarantee you can't find a clip of him passing the ball not one time to Jordan Miller, just so Jordan Miller can, maybe pass the ball to somebody. He doesn't pass to him at all. I saw key things like that, and I'm like, look, he has an ego in general, and he painted his fingernails black like he on the copy. When they start doing all that weird stuff, man, they got to go. They got to go because it's a conflict in chemistry.
Well, I think he's just too much of an individual player. I wish him the best in Milwaukee, but KPJ, to me, I don't think he plays a winning brand of basketball. And a lot of people were like, we shouldn't have got rid of him. And Bogey doesn't look very good, and that's kind of your replacement for him and Terrence Mann. But I don't hear that now.
Right. Hey, that's all right, though. You ain't going to hear nothing either because they quiet. They looking real quiet, son. You know what I'm saying? They looking, look, they're embarrassed, right? Because when you do all of that trash talking, one thing that we do here as a nation is that we surprise you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we surprise everybody that we come in contact with when we are in our synergy, our yin and yang. And right now, we are there. You know what I'm saying? We are there. And we had to go through those ups and downs early. And a lot of teams haven't faced that. They've been doing pretty well because their whole lineup, for the most part, has been pretty healthy throughout the year. Like, look what happened with the Lakers.
Claybon, do you see what people are saying in the chat? That last night in the wall, people who are in the wall were screaming this.
Put it up, Ben! 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 Put it up, Ben!
You've gone legend. You've gone legend.
Put it up, Ben! Hey, man, that's awesome, dog.
People are saying that at Into a Dome. They're saying it.
For real?
Yeah. People in the wall last night were saying, put it up, Ben.
Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Hey, man, shout out to everybody, man. Real talk, man. Motivate them players. That's how we do. Hey, man, and you know what? That probably make Ben Simmons smile in his spirit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, don't just put a smile on your face. Man, put a smile on their spirit. When we hear that type of stuff, man, you never know, man, how it affects people. People don't know the effects of words on the body. I'm going to hit you with something scientific real quick. I learned this, and the body is made up of 75, 76% water. All right? And they found out, it was a Japanese scientist, I forgot his name, but basically they found out the effects of words over water and what it does. So what they did was they said positive words. The whole group of people, they said positive words over the water. They froze it. Bam! All the crystals looked beautiful, man. They was beautiful. And then they did it the same way in reverse. They spoke bad words, I hate you, and all this stuff, and over the water, and they frozen, and the crystals were all different. They were ugly patterns. It was disgusting, dookie green color, all of that. People don't recognize the power of these words. When our players is hearing that, it's like WWF. When they start, they getting pinned, 1, 2, and they start chanting their name, and then that arm kick up. That arm kick up for these players, man. Let them know. You know what I'm saying? Let them know how you feel. Because hey, if we can just chant something together, that'd be some real business, and have a positive spell on our players, especially at home, man. That's all. We got a team full of go-getters that just need that. They need that way. We got our own stadium behind us. Shout out Steve Ballmer. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it feels different. We ain't got to share what we got now. We got a wall. Yo, we got a chance. Yo, man, they was hollering out, put it up, Ben. Oh, my gosh. Put it up, Ben. Good. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put that shot up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Let's go.
I think there's
doing, man.
No, there's something to what you're saying. I think the reason some players have come over and revitalized their careers as Clippers is because they come in with a clean slate, and Clipper Nation supports them, and they get behind them, and they become their guys, and nobody's worried about their past or if they were, not playing to the level at their last stop that most people thought they would be, it's like, you're a Clipper now. We're behind you. We're with you. We're rolling with you.
That's right, man.
Outside of PJ Tucker, but that's kind of on him.
Oh man, PJ Tucker.
He didn't want to be here.
PJ Tucker. He could have done something. When I seen them go against the Denver Nuggets, and nobody right at that time could do anything with Nikola Jokic, right? Nikola Jokic. He came in those little minutes he played and put a body on him, right? I was like, damn, look at Nick. Jokic was like, man, this little dude, man, he was giving them problems. I think he hit a 3 in that game too. I was like, hey, man, if he would have kept a better attitude, wasn't there to be like, what did he do to Bones? Him and Bones Highland stayed back one game that they were supposed to fly out. I think that's what put Bones Highland in the crosshair with the higher ups.
Look, we ain't got to relitigate it, but I hear what you're saying.
I mean, that's the reality. You know, it's uncomfortable truths. You know what I'm saying, Adam? And it was like, you can't be the one that falls into that. You know, why did that happen? Because that man is an older player. He was a veteran that people looked up to.
No, he had a bad influence on Bones Highland. I think that's a fact with PJ Tucker. I'm guessing that's what happened. But Claybon, I got to get back to it. Last 30 seconds. What do you want to say to Clipper Nation as more people are coming in here and saying, I yelled last night, put it up, Ben, after he had a turnover?
Woo. Hey, man, shout out to y'all, man. Let's keep that real positive energy going. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is just a taste. We gave them a taste. We got the NBA hooked at what we are able and capable to do. And we got a cold bench. We got a first, second, and third string that can go up there and put in that work like Rocky Balboa, man. Getting strong now. Hey, we are there. And we got that eye of the tiger. And one more thing, man. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put it up. Let's go. Cliff Nation. Holla at me. Hey, Divine Minds 144 is my Instagram. Adam, I'm going to be back. I love your show. You're doing a knockout job. Keep up the good work, man. Adam for president. You dig what I'm saying? Cliff Nation, Cliff Talk.
Love you, Claybon. Thanks to Claybon for calling in, bringing the energy, and bringing the noise when it comes to his iconic saying now.
Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben.
I feel like we got some more good stuff in this one from Claybon today.
And one more thing, man. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben.
I feel like my guy is going to need some Ricola or something, or some hot tea and some honey, as his voice almost breaks on this one.
Put it up, Ben. Put it up, Ben. Put it up. Let's go.
I liked what he said here, too.
Hey, we are there, and we got that eye of the tiger. And one more thing, man. Ring that can go up there and put in that work like Rocky Balboa, man. Getting strong now.
This is what I'm talking about.
Getting strong now. Getting strong now. Getting strong now. Getting strong now.
Claybon offering up some great sound bites here and a great call as he joined the show for about 25 minutes. Getting strong now. I'm saving it in the folder immediately. I'm going to need another variation of Put It Up, Ben, too.
Hey, man, put it up, Ben.
This one's pretty good. There's like some real urgency. His voice, he's going to lose his voice.
And one more thing, man. Put it up, Ben.
But if you want to hear the original in its entirety one more time.
Get out there, Ben, and put that shit up, dog. Put it up, Ben. Get out there, Ben, and put that shit up, dog. Put it up, Ben.
All right, I got to get back to some post-game sound because I haven't heard this, and I have to listen to it. we'll finish out with listening to Ivica Zubac's post game, and then Bogdanovic.
Thank you. Statement wins are something you guys need at this point of the season, but does that feel like as much of a statement win can kind of get for you guys?
No, I don't know. We're not trying to get statement wins. We're just trying to get wins and win as many as we can. We think we can play against anyone, and when we're at our best.
All right, I gotta see if I can find some better audio here. That was I use Hoop Jab and Hoop Chef. I go back and forth. Whoever got the better sound that night. That may be the best we have though. No, hold up. Let's see.
Much of a statement win can kind of get for you guys?
No, I don't know. We're not trying to get statement wins. We're just trying to get wins and win as many as we can. We think we can play against anyone, when we're at our best, and I think we showed that tonight. That's the best team in the league right there. Best striker in the league, and we had a great second half. Came back. Play some good defense in the second half, and we showed we can play against everyone.
You've been on this team, you've become more of an offensive threat the last year or so. How much do you enjoy scoring?
A lot. I think we all.
How much do you enjoy scoring? A lot.
We all started playing basketball because of offense. Everyone want to be a scorer. Everyone want to score. But once you get to the league, there's so much you can do. There's you got to find your role. And, in the beginning, my role was different, but last year or so, they needed me more to score, and they went to me in the post, and I was ready. I always worked on my post game.
This is what I'm talking about. I always worked on my post game. I was ready. He did not develop a post game over the summer, guys. He's been great.
I was ready. I always worked on my post game, and when my name was called, I was ready.
So it's not 7 of 8 for you guys. 7 wins out of the last 8. Like, do you see the actual chemistry just building on the court? Everyone finding their rhythm, getting to where they kind of want to be. Can you see that building together?
Yeah, I mean, we built it throughout the season. It's nothing new. We coming out of All-Star break, we had guys out.
Guys were hurt. There's a simple answer sometimes. When everybody's going, sky is falling, the season's over, what's going on, what's wrong with this team? They were hurt. They had some bad losses in there, but they were also banged up. And Kawhi wasn't him yet.
We acting like we were losing games, like we was not healthy.
How about that? You got to have some good health out there.
We knew once we were fully healthy, we have a good team, and we're showing that.
B. Shaw said after the game that Bogey's really given you guys a shot in the arm since he's been here because of his ability to help play make and all these other things. Yeah. What have you seen that he's given you guys offensively?
Whatever he's been doing his whole career. People in the NBA don't really watch basketball, so they think he's a shooter. Only that man's been playing, doing everything on the offensive end.
Do you hear Zoo called out the casuals for thinking Bogey's just a shooter? He just said it. He does everything on the offensive end.
Throughout his whole career for the national team in Europe, and now people can see he's more than a shooter. He's a great pick and roll player. He's very smart. His IQ off the charts, and he works really hard. So he's a really good addition to our team.
They came in with the best record, top team in the league. You beat them. I mean, how good are they?
I mean, their record says everything. It's not easy winning, being 16 something, whatever. That's really hard. That's really hard to be that good consistently throughout the NBA season, and that's a really good team over there. So, but we need every win we can get. We're desperate, and we will find a way to get them.
You haven't played them before.
They played with absolute desperation last night. The way they shot it from 3 in the first half when they knew they couldn't get stops. So I guess we got to do it on the offensive end. That was so good to see.
You haven't played them before. What was it like to adjust to a team with 2 rim protectors, J.A. and Evan, and still put 28 and 20 on?
I mean, they don't really play much together. They start together. But, they staggered them. So it's really, first 6 minutes of the first and third and maybe in the end of the game. But, it's
Oh, they were both there at the end of the game when you got that and one, Big Zoo. Come on now. Then you flexed. Don't sell yourself short. But he's right. They do stagger them a little bit.
it's pretty much one of them is on the floor at all times. It's they're both really good defenders and really good players. So have to be really locked in and bring it to do this against them.
When your biggest games this season have come against really elite bigs like AD, Wemby, Jaren, and of course tonight against Mobley.
Let's review. Big Zoo has had 2020 games against AD, Triple J, Wemby, and now Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. He's a made man. He's in the convo for top 5 center in the league. Might do more on that tomorrow.
What do you think that says about the level that you've gotten to this season?
I think I can, this league, I can feel like I can go head to head with, with the best of them. And I'm glad the team is giving me an opportunity and chance to prove that on a nightly basis. And it feels good, man. I'm a competitor, and when I see those guys, all-stars, defensive players of the year, guys who've been doing it for a long time, it's a challenge for me. So I try to bring my best game.
So this isn't to say that you weren't comfortable before, but has Mobley's addition added something to you as far as the comfortability standpoint of having him here?
I think so. Speaking the same language, it really helps.
That connection with Bogey.
Especially on the floor, and just kind of he gives me a lot of confidence. I try to give return the favor to him and push him to be aggressive, and he's doing the same to me. And we got a little chemistry in pick and roll. We're playing off of each other, reading the game, and it's really easy. So I would say him coming here, it did something for me.
What's it like sharing?
Wow. Giving Bogey a lot of credit. They got great chemistry, instant chemistry.
Birthday with someone like Chris.
It's great. We've been talking about it for weeks. We found out like a month ago that we had the same birthday, and ever since then we circled this game. We were like, we gotta get that one. It's our birthday. We gotta get that one.
So what are you going to do to celebrate?
Ever since then we have a
Sharing a birthday with someone like Chris.
It's great. We've been talking
And Chris Dunn, same birthday.
about it for weeks. We found out like a month ago that we had the same birthday, and ever since then we circled this game. We were like, we gotta get that one. It's our birthday. We gotta get that one.
Shout out Chris Dunn. Even though he got into foul trouble, I still felt like he made an impact in his 17 minutes because he wears on guys. When they were mismatch hunting, it was to get Chris Dunn off of Donovan Mitchell, off of Darius Garland. So he did his job still last night.
So what are you going to do to celebrate?
We got to win. That's the best way to celebrate it. Yeah, we're professionals over here.
When you look at who you were when you first came to this team, and you're the longest tenured guy on this team now, and especially when you see like they're going to you in the fourth quarter when you were getting a lot of the clutch baskets when the team really needed points. How have you seen yourself evolve from when you first came onto this team to now, just mentally or your game or just overall?
It's different. I was like 21, just turning 22 when I got here, and I didn't know much about basketball. I didn't know half of the stuff I know now, and just playing with some guys who really pushed me a lot, who I learned from a lot, really helped me and made me into the player I am today. So I'm really thankful for all the guys I shared the locker room with, all the great coaches, all the great players, and I'm enjoying playing basketball right now.
You guys who stand out in particular when you think of your Clippers tenure that have really helped you get to the point that you're at now?
Pat Bev, Lou Will. Those.
Shout out Pat Bev, Lou Will.
My two guys, Lou was on the Lakers with me. I learned a lot from him there. Then with the Clippers, and then Pat Bev. He tested me a lot when I got here. He pushed me a lot, but I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I learned so much from him. Not just in basketball, off the court too. Those are my guys. I would say those two are the ones that I learned the most from.
Don't forget about the time Pat Bev, a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think, came to the Clippers game wearing an Ivica Zubac jersey courtside while being on another team.
See, Terrence just tweeted after the game. He said Pat Bev tried to tell y'all about Zoo.
Oh, Terrence tweeted that out. Pat Bev tried to tell you all about Zoo.
Not yet.
Yeah, he's popping off.
Yeah.
That's one of
He
the
said,
guys. That's one of my
MF
guys.
Zoo, mother effing Zoo, he said.
That's T-Man. That's my brother. So always got love for T-Man.
Awesome, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Zoo.
Still love for T-Man, as we all do. That love remains. But he was traded for this man, Bogdanovic, who was a perfect 8 of 8 and 4 of 4 from 3 last night. Here was Bogey post game.
Meaningful nowadays, but like at this point of the season. But does this feel like a statement one for you guys, given how you guys have been kind of trending up, facing the best team in the league?
I mean, we talked about it. We had 14 games before this game. Now we have 13 games left, and we're just trying to get better every single game. Offensively, defensively, communication on the floor, and not waste our time on the floor while we're on the floor, and with different type of lineups and different roles. And I'm just happy that everybody contributed in their roles tonight.
Your teammates and coaches talk a lot about your competitiveness. Being as competitive as you are, how exciting is it to be on a team like this that has the aspirations and the goals that they have?
This is true. He hit another, that was a 3-pointer, right? That they called the moving screen, and then he got the technical bogey. He was hot. Not just with his shot. He was upset.
About your competitiveness, being as competitive as you are, how exciting is it to be on a team like this that has the aspirations and the goals that they have?
I'm going to keep saying, I'm just watching how James and Kawhi are working. They're our leaders of the locker room, and we're just following, honestly. And we just work behind them. We're putting work behind them, and we are there to do whatever we need to win a game. It's hard to get to these levels, of competing on high-level basketball, high IQ play, and you don't want to mess it up. You just want to keep building and keep working towards that momentum.
It felt like you were really feeding off the crowd.
A lot of people have started to come around on Bogey, and it's good to see. It really is. Because Bogey's my guy. And I wanted to make sure that he was being respected out there. And somebody who called him washed on X, Sheriff O, even had to come out and say, I'm a big enough, I guess, man to admit it. I was wrong about Bogey. This is the Bogey I wanted from game 1. Well, I can't go 8 for 8 every game. We got Bogey. I'm happy to be wrong. Let's go Clips. Then I asked him about Ivica Zubac because he was hating on him too. Oh, receipt master. Receipt season ain't over.
Crowds tonight. How special did this home crowd feel tonight?
It was great tonight. It was really good. A really good atmosphere. I love to play here. Honestly, it feels like home. It feels like we have a home crowd.
Wow. Awesome to hear that from Bogey. Love to play here. Awesome atmosphere. Feels like home. Feels like we have a home crowd.
Love to play here. Honestly, it feels like home. It feels like we have a home crowd.
Bogey, you were named today to the top 25 FIBA players for your time with Fenerbahce. Can you just talk about what that honor kind of means to you?
It's great. It's really great, but I feel like I'm still playing, so it's
a little weird.
While you're playing, but I'll ask James how he handled his 75. So he'll help me to handle my 25.
Bisha also said after the game,
Top 25 FIBA basketball player. I'll ask James how he feels about being a top 75 player ever.
that he feels that you have given this team a shot in the arm since you've been here, because not just because of your shooting, but because of your playmaking and your ability to take the pressure off of James and Kawhi. Have you felt that you've kind of provided a spark to this team since you've been here?
They trust in me, and they not only when it's going well. When I was shooting 1 from 12, they keep trusting me, and they.
I did too, Bogey. I trusted you too. Never a doubt.
They see probably how much I'm putting in work, and as I said, it's team stuff, and we are just trying to figure it out. How to be better. I think there's way more improvement in our team left, and a lot more room.
especially in those like turnovers and situation defensively. That our communication could be better, but I'm just focused on the work and let's keep winning, right?
When you were struggling,
They did have, was it 3 straight or 4 straight turnovers at one point in the fourth quarter? Things got a little bit dicey for a second, and there were a couple of egregious ones. But overall, the turnovers were down for the most part in the ball game. It put us on edge for a second. We've obviously seen that before. Let's see, it was one. DJ had one, then Kawhi, then Nico Batum. So what was those 3 straight? Another one from Nico Batum. Yeah, it was ugly for a second. But they held it down. They were still up by 7. Then James Harden came back in for Kawhi for a couple minutes. Then Kawhi came back in. I'm glad Bogey spoke about that. Still can get better there.
early on, did you challenge yourself? Did you tell yourself?
No, I knew I just didn't know where the shots are coming from. Different plays, different play style. I was playing a certain way in Atlanta for years now. It's a little bit different, playing with different guys, different tendencies. So it takes time for everybody. Even though I came in great shape and I was in a good shape, but still playing with new team, new stuff, new role. It's a little bit different. And no matter how good you are, it takes time.
I was asking Sue about just his level of comfortability. He looks more comfortable having you around with the language, speaking the same language and everything. One, do you see him maybe being a bit more comfortable? And two, do you feel more comfortable having someone you can speak the same language? Is it different?
Of course, and that translates off the court too. If you have a fun time, just being here, it helps you compete better. If you're happy at the place you are, with the people around you, it's never about location. It's about people and who is there, and his support was tremendous to me. And since day one, we went on a coffee the first day I got traded. And we just started building a relationship. We didn't know each other, but we became friends here. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. This budding bromance between Bogey and Ivica Zubac is awesome to see. And him talking about something we mention all the time. If guys genuinely enjoy each other's company, you're more willing to sacrifice on the court. If you're good off the court, you're going to have a better chance of having great chemistry on the court too. This is big.
You guys speak. You said you guys speak the same. You speak Serbian on the court together. Is there like pick and roll? Are you able to communicate?
Serbian and Croatian both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, whatever we need.
But do you, in pick and roll situations, certain things, are you communicating in that language?
Yeah. We're working.
DeAndre Hunter was talking about how he doesn't necessarily like having to play against you, but he's.
I don't like to play against him either. He was also on the pace that I missed a shot tonight. So.
But he's very happy for you. What is your guys' relationship like, and how is it playing against him today?
We was working in Atlanta. I can tell you that.
Obviously, you play with DeAndre Hunter in Atlanta. He was really good last night, especially in the first half for Cleveland.
Great guy, obviously, spent many years with him. I'm happy for him, for his role, and he had a shot there for sure. And he's going to be huge for them towards the end of the season. I wish him all the best, of course, and as long as he stays healthy, it's going to be nice.
So some of your best plays come in these fourth quarters. When did you realize that you had that intangible to play your best ball, when it matters most, and in these fourth quarters late in games?
Law basically asking him, why are you so clutch, Bogey?
I feel like it comes with the experience. Who knows me? I played big games since I was 18, and in Partizan, where I started, later in Fenerbahce, if you don't win a game, you can't go out in the city, and you cannot have the normal dinner. You can't have fun.
So he's playing with some high stakes. You don't win, you can't go out in the city and have fun.
So I think it comes from there, that type of pressure. So I'm not, how you say it? I don't even know. I don't feel it that way anymore. It comes with the experience, of course, and I'm just trying to read the game and see where my guys are at and who I'm playing with, and just read the game. I don't know.
Thank you. Appreciate
it.
That is such a real answer.
Bogdanovic, thanks to Hoop Jab for the audio there. We reviewed it all. We went through it all. It was a huge game. Clippers win 132-119 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. A measuring stick opportunity. Hey, if they didn't look good, we'd say, well, they're just not at that level. Now we know they can play with the big boys. I believe that. It's one game, but Cleveland played really well, and the Clippers had to match that level of intensity and execution out there that we saw from the Cavaliers, and they were able to. I thought this is where the Clippers team could be if they got Kawhi right. Last night, hopefully it was just a glimpse, tip of the iceberg into what we'll see moving forward. I do want to remind you guys, Clippers Talk, as always, is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest way to play fantasy sports, and it's available in over 30 states. All you got to do is pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats or your least favorite player stats. And you can win up to 100 times your money, make picks, win money, and I got the free promo code for you that will give new users a free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash. The promo code is LAC, and you can find it and the referral link in the description down below in this episode. Underdog Fantasy, make picks, win money. Appreciate you guys. I think Will Updike and I are doing a Clips and Dip later tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. It's been 166 straight days of Clippers talk for you. But you know what I say?
Getting strong now. Getting strong now. Getting strong now. Getting